Hello everyone, how are you today? In today's video, we'll be looking at the introductory aspect of Microsoft Excel. Although we're going to be looking at quite a lot of things, we'll look at how you can navigate around the Excel environment. So what you see here, the application is Microsoft Excel. There are a lot of spreadsheet applications there, but what we're using right now is Microsoft Excel. All right. So a spreadsheet is also known as a worksheet. Okay, so what you see here is a spreadsheet. This is the work area. So a spreadsheet is also known as a worksheet. It contains rows and columns, and it is used to record and compare numerical or financial data. So you can use spreadsheets to make calculations, to prepare budgets, to prepare inventory lists, to take stock, and to create maybe travel expenses and so forth. So there are benefits of using Excel spreadsheets. Okay, some of those benefits would be to calculate large number of data, to sort your data easily, to create graph charts, to visualize your data. All right. So a spreadsheet is made up of columns and rows, as you can see on your screen. Okay, now the columns is identified vertically using letters A, B, C, D, and so forth. Now the rows, you can identify them with the numbers 1, 2, 3, and so forth. Let me take you around the work area of the Excel spreadsheet. So right at the top left, you will see the quick access toolbar, which is also called QUAT in short. So the quick access toolbar does have save button. You would see the undo button, and then you will see redo button. Okay, so these are the three common buttons or commands that you would see in the quick access toolbar. You can customize your quick access toolbar if you want to. So you click on the more arrow, and for instance, I want to add the new or email to my quick access toolbar, so I can click on that. So I have an email there. So what the quick access toolbar does is it allows you to quickly access the command that you frequently use. All right. Now, top there is the title bar. So when you open a new workbook, Excel, you're going to see the title bar. Currently here, it is written book 1. But when we rename this, it's going to replace that book 1 with the name that you've given to it. So there you're going to see the title bar. So right below the quick access toolbar, you're going to see different tabs, the menu tabs of Excel. In the file tab, when you click on the file tab, now the file tab brings you to the backstage view of the Excel or your spreadsheet. Okay. Now from here, you're going to find things like new. From here, you can create a new workbook. You can open an existing workbook when you click on this. When you go to this point, info, you're going to see the properties of your Excel spreadsheet. Like here, you'll see properties around there. Now, it allows you from the File tab to save. You will see Save As, you will see the print, you can share, you can export, you can close. So these are the things, the buttons that you would find in the File tab, which is also referred to as the backstage view of your document. Now, the Home tab presents to you the common buttons that you normally use in your spreadsheet. Now, this Home tab, all right, is demarcated with different groups. You'll see that vertical line showing the demarcations of each of those groups. Now we have the clipboard group, we have font group, all right, we do have the alignment group, we have number group, styles group, cells group, editing, and so forth. Now we go to the insert tab and click on the insert tab. The insert tab adds content to your spreadsheet, and it does have different groups. So you would see the tables group, illustrations group, controls group, charts group, spark lines group, filter, and so forth, all demarcated by the vertical lines. All right. The next tab to talk about is the page layout. Okay. Now the page layout prepares your worksheet for printing. Now there are different groups in this particular tab. You would see the themes group, you would see the page setup group, and it does have different buttons. You will see the margins, the orientation, the size. These are different buttons, okay? Now here we have the scale to fit group, sheets options, arrange group, all demarcated with the vertical lines. Now the next tab we want to talk about is the formulas tab. Now the formulas tabs assists you to add formulas or functions to your worksheet or spreadsheet. The first group here is the function library, and then we have the defined names group, we have the formula updating group, we have calculations group. The next tab is the data tab. This tab allows you to import, merge, and organize your data. And it does have different groups. We have the get and transform data group. We have the queries and connections group. We have the data types group, sort and filter group, data tools group, forecast, outline group. The next tab is the review tab. This tab contains the commands you need to review a document, such as the proofing group, the performance group, the accessibility group, language group, changes, comments group, notes group, and protect group. Then we have the view tab. This tab allows you to view a document as it will look when printed. And it does have its groups. You will see the sheet view group, you'll see the workbook view, and there are buttons there. You will see the show group, you'll see zoom group, and you will see the window group and macros group. Some of the tabs that I have just mentioned are the commonly used tabs in Excel. Now, these are just newly added tabs. Old versions of Excel would normally call this developers tab, but now it is now automate, and we have help, acrobat, and data science. So these are data science as a new tab that has been added. All right. So the common tabs that we'll be working with is the file tab up to the views tab. Okay. So while I was explaining, I did mention that each tab does have groups. Okay. Now, for instance, in home tab, we do have the fonts group, and each of those groups do have buttons. Okay. Now, what is a button? A button is a command or a box to enter information or a menu. Now, you see the alignment group, it does have different buttons. So these are buttons within a group in a tab. All right. The next thing I like to talk about is workbook. What is a workbook? When you open up an Excel, what you see is a workbook. So this is your workbook. Everything, the entire Excel app is your workbook. Now, a workbook consists of one or more spreadsheets. Now, how do we find spreadsheets? Below here, you would see sheets. So when you open a workbook, it has one sheet in it. Now, from this button here, you'll see new sheets. You can add sheets to your workbook. Okay. Now, here is your spreadsheet. What is a spreadsheet? A spreadsheet is actually a place where the data goes in. Now, data can be anything. All right. That is where your data goes in. Now, let me take you through creating different spreadsheets. All right, so we have only one spreadsheet here in this workbook. So I'm just going to double click on that spreadsheet one and name this July. Now, to create a new spreadsheet, I'm going to click this plus sign, which is new sheet, and that's a new sheet. Now, to name this, I need to double click on that and type the name that I want to give to the spreadsheet. Or I can right click on that and go to where I see rename. Click on rename and type in the name of the spreadsheet. So for this one, I'm going to call it August. All right. So that's how you can add new spreadsheets and so forth. So I will click in to add another spreadsheet here. So I'll just double click and call this September. Okay. Once you type in, you can click anywhere inside the work area, and that's fine. All right. So that's how you curate spreadsheets. You can delete a spreadsheet from your workbook. Now that I have created a spreadsheet I want to delete, I can come here, right click on the spreadsheet that I want to delete. All right. You'll see different options here. I can then click on that delete button. If I want to, for instance, that maybe I made a mistake, I can rename this. All right. It's either I double click to rename that or I right click. So you can rename your spreadsheet. Okay. All right. You can protect it by adding a password to your spreadsheet. Okay. You can add color to the tabs of your spreadsheet. So these are also called tabs. So to add a color, you can go to the tab color and choose the exact color that you want. So remember, these colors do have their names. So you need to pay attention to the name of the color that you want to add to the tab of your spreadsheet. All right. So let's perhaps choose this color, dark teal accent 1. All right. So I can come here, right click, and also add a tab color. Here, let's add solid red color or standard color red. So come back here, right click on that July tab and choose another color, maybe green, dark green accent 3. So I've added that. So I was talking about deleting. You've seen how to add spreadsheets. You can delete your spreadsheet. So back to this point, I'll right click on that and click delete. Good. So you've seen now that we've deleted a spreadsheet. Now to work on any of those spreadsheets, what you need to do is you click either of those spreadsheets. It contains its own data and it will show for you. You key in whatever you want to key in. Click on the next spreadsheet. It's different from this other one. You key in whatever information that you want to key in. When you open a spreadsheet consists of columns and rows, and we do have a cell. Now the intersection here is called D4. So here is called a name box, right? Name box displays the address of the current cell. As you can see here, the current cell that is active here is D4. So it's gotten from D column and row 4. So that's how you get the D4. So it's called the name box. Now over here, we have the formula bar. Now the formula bar displays the content of the current cell. Let's say I type in whatever here. All right. Now when you look at the formula bar, it displays the content of the current cell. This is our ribbon. So if I want to hide the ribbon, I'll just double click the home tab. Then the ribbon is gone. You cannot see it. To make the ribbon appear, just go to that home tab, double click on it, and then you will see the ribbon would appear. This is a normal view of Excel. So if I point to that aspect, you see the normal view. Here you will see the page layout. You would see the page break preview. So if I click on that, it gives us the page layout. You should be able to navigate between the normal view and the page layout view. All right. So you just need to click. You see the view, how they look differently. Okay. So it's important to note that a spreadsheet contains more than 16,000 columns. Remember, the columns are identified by letters A, B, C. So there are more than 16,000 columns in a spreadsheet. Now we talk about the rows, which are identified by numbers. There are over 1 million rows in a spreadsheet. How do you find out? So to see the last column in a spreadsheet, press down the Control key on your keyboard and press down the right arrow key. So that will take you straight to the last column on your spreadsheet. So I press down my Control key and the arrow key. Takes us to the last column here. As you can see there, it is XFT. XFT. That's what we see over there, Right. Now let's go back to the home page. Now the home page is A1. So if I press down my control key and press the left arrow key, it takes me back to the first page, which is the home page here, which is called the A1 page. So if you wanted to scroll all the way back to this column A, I bet it's going to take a whole lot of time for you to get there, because the columns in a spreadsheet is over 16,000 columns. So it will take you quite a while to come to this point. So you should always use a combination key on your keyboard, which is you press down the control key down and use either of the arrow keys to get to where you want to go to. So let's see how many rows that we have in a spreadsheet. So I'm going to press down my control key and the down row. So this takes me straight down to the last row in the spreadsheet, and you can see over here what we have there. That is the number of rows that we do have in this Excel spreadsheet. Okay, so let's get back to the home page. So I'll press down my control key and press the up arrow key so I can get back to the home page, which is my first page, A1. I want to key in information here. I'll type in July. Okay, if you look here, you'll see that I have entered some values here. All right, I'm going to show you how you can zoom. So over here, down here is the zoom in, so we can make it bold depending on your preference. Okay, or you can even press down your control key and roll the mouse. Okay, so you can zoom in and zoom out. All right. So I would like to use this to make an explanation based on the status bar. So down here is our status bar, but I like to show you something. Now I did enter this information for July 200, and I have August 500, September 230. Now I'm going to select group of test. To select a group of tests, you hold the first one and drag through. Okay. Now that I have done that, look down here. This is our status bar. Now the status bar here, this is our status bar. The status bar here displays the average as 310, then count as 3 because I did select 3 cells there, and then we have the sum. It sums this up and gives us the value. So here is called a status bar. Now you can customize your status bar as to what you want displayed in your status bar. So if I right click on that, you will see the list that you have here. You can customize status bar. So how do you customize your status bar? You just need to put a tick as to what you want. Minimum, for instance, I want to see the minimum there. So if I click on that and deactivate that, you will see we have the minimum number there is 200. So that's how you can customize your status bar. Now, the other thing is moving around your spreadsheet. You can actually move around your work area how you want it by using the up and down, left and right arrows to move around. So you can move to wherever you want it. All right. Now, the other one is you can use your tab key, press the tab key to move where you want to quickly, but you would notice it goes just that way. Now, if I want to go back using the tab key, I need to press down the shift key and press my tab key so it can go left. All right. Okay. Now, again, you can use your mouse to quickly go to where you want and click on it. Now, another thing is you note here that I did type information here. Now, if you want to add information to a cell, if I click there and just type in what I want, it's going to delete it. So to modify information, when you click on that cell, go to the formula bar and modify what you want. So I might want to write that in full, so I do that. Okay. If you just click and then you start typing, everything deletes. Okay. So you click and then you go to the formula bar to make the modification. The same thing here. When I click on that cell, I go over there and modify it in the formula bar. So I can do the same thing for the September. Click, come over here in the formula bar and modify it. Cell values, okay? So that is how you modify your cell values. So you can see that the September isn't showing clearly. So I'm going to double click this. It is called AutoFit, so that the value within this column would show properly. Another way you can edit the content of your cell is to double click the particular cell. Okay, so let's say September here. I'll double click on it. Okay, make sure that I can see the cursor there. Then I can press the backspace, right, to delete or edit the content of my cell. Or you can use the previous method. Selecting a small group of cells. Right now, you can see we do have values here. There are different ways you can make selection. The other way is you can select by dragging, which is a common way to select. So you click where you want to select and drag through. So I have selected this group of cells. I can click here, select to that point. I've selected those groups of cells. So there are other ways you can select. Right, you can click and select the entire column. Now the entire column it goes all the way down to the last row, right? Or you can click the number to select the entire row. All right. Now this is not most times advisable to do that, because when you do so, you have selected the entire stuff. You know it's quite large. So it's better to do your selection by dragging. Okay, select the group of cells that you want to apply any command to. That's the best way to make your selection. Now, the other things I like to talk about here is the different ways of formatting data within a worksheet. Okay, now let's talk about changing the column width. There are different ways you can change your column width. You can click on that between A and B. You will see the adjustment cursor. You click, hold, and then you drag. All right, you will see the width size changes there. It is 11 points there. I can stop. That's how you can change your column width. You can change your column width by maybe selecting that column, right? Go to Home tab. All right, go to Cells Group, click the more arrows there. Remember, we're talking about the column width, and you see different options here. This is your column width. You click on that. We want to change the column width here to 10. So I will change that and put in 10 points. So this is the best way if you want to work with point. So you go through that and you click OK. So now the column width for column A is now 10. If I click on that point, and I will see the width there to be 10. Now let's talk about changing row height. Now we say these are the rows. So I can click on the exact row I want to change the height. Let's use row 1 as an example. So when I select that row, I can go to my Home tab, go to Cells Group, click the more arrow of Format. I will see my row height, click on it, and then put the point that I want. So again, let's make the row height to be maybe 20. When I put the row height to be 20 points, I click OK. So that's my row height there, 20 points. All right. So you can insert columns if you want to. To insert new columns, I can go there, click on that A, right click, and go to Insert. Click, and you will see that I have inserted a new column before this ones. Okay, so it depends exactly where you want to insert your column. If I want to insert a column so it appears between A and B, an empty column, and I want to enter data within that, I'll come here, right click column B, click on Insert, and then I'm going to have an empty column here. So this is how you can insert a column. Now to delete a column, let's delete the empty column that we have here. So I'll come here, right click on that column and delete. Okay, so now that's how to delete. So there are different ways you can delete your column. It's either you right click and you click on the delete, or you select the column. All right, Home tab, Cells Group, and then here we have the delete button. Click the more arrow to find the options that you want and you click delete, or delete cells, or you delete sheet column. So we want to delete sheet column. So that's what I will click on. Now take note that when you click on this, there are different options as to what you can do. Take time to familiarize yourself with all of these other commands. Okay, same thing with that delete. Click the more arrow, you will see the other. This is delete the spreadsheet. So it means that if I click on that, this July spreadsheet will be deleted. All right. Now let's talk about how we can insert a new row. So perhaps I want to insert a new row to appear, an empty row to appear before this first row. So I'll right click at the first row and click insert. So now that you would see there that I have a new row at the top. Now to delete that, I will right click on that and delete the row. Or I can right click on that row, go to the cells group, you see delete, click the more arrow and choose delete sheet rows. You will notice that the delete sheet columns is no longer showing because it wasn't selected. So once you select the row or column that you want to delete, that would be visible to you. So click on that to delete it. If I want to add a new row between 1 and 2, then it means I'm going to select row 2 and click insert. So now I do have an empty row between this. So you need to know where to insert row. There are times after you enter large number of data, you want to insert new row within that data. So you should know how to insert row within data or columns within your data. So that's very important. However, if it doesn't work, just undo. Over here, you can undo or redo from your quick access toolbar. So let's delete that. Right click on that row number and click delete. All right, so this brings us to the end of today's lesson. I hope you liked it. Remember to drop comments in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next video.